Hello, everyone. I believe that we are live. First time trying that video thing at the start of this stream, but now welcome along to the live stream, everyone. Welcome to a live match, a pre-match chat ahead of Leeds United's big clash with Manchester United at Old Trafford. Later today, it kicks off at 4:30 p.m. The War of the Roses is returned to the Premier League for the first time in over 16 years. I'm NkGhTg, and joining me is a website writer, Johnny Chick. Johnny, hello.
Hiya, mate. How are you doing?
I'm very well. How are you, mate?
I'm good. I'm buzzing for this one, mate. First time I've seen this one properly in like a league fixture. So yeah, buzzing for this.
Yeah. How excited are you? What are your emotions right now leading up to the game?
I'm just going into this excited. Like I've got so many Man United mates, so much time through school. I've Man United friends, been the only Leeds fan, and this is now the first time I've been able to come up against them. It's just going to be great. Like going into this, I've obviously like my heart says like we can really win this and we can really turn them over, but I think with the quality they've got, they're obviously favourites. So there's more pressure on their part than us, definitely.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think, Manchester United, they're aiming for a top four place. They're coming up against Leeds, first time in the Premier League for 16 years. So much more pressure on them. But, it's just a free hit for us. And, it's going to be a very, very interesting game. Let's go straight into the team lineups, first of all, then. So for Leeds United, it's unchanged. Not too surprising there. Were you expecting an unchanged lineup, Johnny?
Yeah, completely. When you beat the side 5-2 in the Premier League, you can't really expect any changes. I think Bielsa came out and said in his press conference there were no new injuries, no fresh injury concerns. I was fully expecting an unchanged lineup. I was really happy that Rodrigo and Rafinha are now starting together as well. They're really, really connecting well, and they played very well, both of them, on Wednesday night against Newcastle. So if they can play anything like they did against Man United, then we're definitely in for a treat.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I wasn't too surprised to see it unchanged, especially when he said that there's no new injury concerns. We've just won 5-2. There's no need to change a winning formula, and we know how Bielsa works. I mean, he left it unchanged from the West Ham game, and we lost that game, so not surprising there. But yeah, you mentioned the partnership between Rafinha and Rodrigo. I love our forward partnerships. Rafinha, Rodrigo, Bamford, and Jack Harrison all linking up well. We're an exciting team to watch going forward now.
Yeah, we are. It's a building block process that Bielsa's brought in. When you think about that first squad that he inherited, where it was like Alioski, Saiz, Hernandez, and who else would have on the right hand side? It's like how much we've changed, and that attacking force was always the quality on the wings was always what we needed to really improve. We slowly built on that with Helder Costa, and now building on that more with Rafinha and adding Rodrigo into that. We're becoming a top quality team, and we're not spending money like recklessly just for the sake of it. We're spending in key areas, and those two have been absolutely on fire. Rafinha as well. I've been so impressed with him to kick Helder Costa out of the team when Bielsa loves to keep the same players in week out. To really kick him out that early on, it shows how impressive he's been.
Yeah. I mean, Rafinha is just such an exciting player to watch. He is the player that I wanted Helder Costa to be. I thought Helder Costa was going to be, but Rafinha's just so much more exciting, unpredictable. You don't know what's going to happen, and the fact that he's got such a good partnership already with our other forwards, it's really exciting to watch. I mentioned Helder Costa. He is back on the bench. Of course, the bench has been you now got 9 players on the bench being implemented this weekend. So Helder Costa is back on the bench, but were you surprised to see him not involved in the 18-man squad on Wednesday night? Even, because he wasn't injured. Bielsa said he wasn't injured. So were you surprised to just not see him involved at all?
I think because of how loyal Bielsa is to players and how often he keeps the same lineup and bench, sort of like I was surprised to not see him there. Because we saw it earlier on in the season, didn't we, with Hernandez, or was he injured? But he got dropped, and sort of got those hints that Bielsa wasn't really going to take anything from the players. And obviously, Costa's performance against West Ham came under criticism. I don't think he was great. It didn't look like he was really working for the team, and I think he was right to be dropped. But I was a bit surprised that Bielsa really dropped him from the lineup, knowing how loyal he is to players and his signings as well. Like Costa's his player, not someone that he's inherited from Leeds. I was surprised to see that, but I think that is again due to the quality of Rafinha and Harrison improving his performances as well in recent games. I wasn't against the decision. I guess I was a little surprised because it is Bielsa.
Yeah, I was very surprised, but who knows? It could give Helder Costa, a kick up the backside and try get himself going, because we saw it with Pablo Hernandez. Pablo Hernandez on the bench again today, but he came off the bench on the 82nd minute in midweek, got 2 assists, and Pablo Hernandez, he changed the game for us going forward. Really, he does counter attacks. It was really good when he came on, and could Pablo Hernandez provide a spark again today if needed?
Hopefully. I love Pablo. He's the man who took us up to the Premier League. He's been the best player I've seen in a Leeds shirt, and I'm so happy he's now been given that chance in the Premier League again. Obviously, the injuries have sort of caused concern for him this season, but no, great to see him on Wednesday night. And if I can think he can have an effect today, I think in terms of playing balls in behind Lindelof and Maguire, who aren't the fastest of centre-backs, playing those balls, we know if there's one person in our squad who can play those killer through balls to out wide to Rafinha, Harrison, or through to Bamford, it's Pablo. So I think if we are drawing or we're struggling to break that back line of Man United down, Pablo has to come on. I thought he should have come on against West Ham, didn't. Came on when we were winning against Newcastle and did his business. So if he comes on today, I'll be more than happy.
Yeah, I think, if needed, I think Pablo Hernandez showed on Wednesday night that if we need him, he can still do a job. I think at the start of the season when he was starting games, it was a bit slow to get going in the Premier League. But no, I think he showed on Wednesday night that he can still provide a service. We are live, of course, on YouTube and Facebook, so get your comments in. Calvin is joining us on YouTube. He says, hello, Merry Christmas to you, Calvin. But no, Wednesday night, 5-2 win.
Phillips then.
it would have been sick, wouldn't it, if Calvin Phillips was watching this? But no, so Wednesday night, 5-2 win at Newcastle at Ellen Road. I mean, 5 different goal scorers. How good were we on Wednesday night?
Oh, so good. So good. Opening couple of minutes again, not sort of look similar to the West Ham game. Newcastle seemed like they could really get something out of the game. Obviously, they took the lead, but I thought for the equaliser and the end of the first half, we were definitely worth at least a point from that first half. And then second half, we just took off. Obviously, they scored from a set piece, which, again, we've got to be wary of today with Maguire and Lindelof quite good in the air. But second half, we were different gravy. Like Harrison on the wing, proving why he deserves a spot in that starting 11. I thought Bamford was working his socks off, didn't again get the service that he really wants. But again, I think he put in one challenge in the second half. This all made me stand up and really applaud him. His work ethic was fantastic, and all the players were linking up really well, defensively sound, stopping their counter-attacks through Wilson and Fraser, and we were well worth the win. And again, it's clinical finishing. It shows how much we want to win. You see those 5 players in the box at the end when we're 3-2 up and counter-attacking, and then when Harrison's bombing forward as well. It was such a good performance, and it's the perfect result to take into this kind of game.
Yeah, very much is. But you mentioned there the set pieces, the goals that we conceded on Wednesday night. First one, sloppy, easily avoidable. Someone only has to, just close in on Ryan Fraser, stop the cross, but no one did. Callum Wilson got a free header to flick it onto Jeff Hendrick, who was unmarked at the back post, easily avoidable. And then the set piece as well, conceding again, a header from a set piece. How big of a problem are set pieces for us?
Massive. I think it was on the Amazon Prime coverage. They said I think it was like 44% of Bielsa's goals have been set pieces, and then they literally scored goals we conceded under Bielsa, and then literally they scored straight away through Kieran Clark. It's obviously a massive issue. We're not the tallest of squads, and it's something that needs to be rectified, because a lot of the squads in the Premier League and a lot of the, like your Burnleys who we're playing next after this game, do rely on set pieces, like Sheffield United, Burnleys, and those kind of teams that really scrap the nitty-gritty points from set pieces. So it needs to be something that we need to work on. But I think if we almost can't stop conceding from set pieces, we need to be better down the other end and more clinical, like we were on Wednesday night, because it could have been another game where we didn't take those chances through Harrison and Alioski and Rodrigo, and we would have drawn because of another set piece. So being more clinical up front, I guess, is the alternative, but first line of defence needs to be a lot better. Yeah, very much. So you want to reassure the defence first. Make sure that you're not conceding goals, so there's less pressure on the attackers, really. But yeah, set piece is a big problem. Didn't he working on? Could set pieces cost us again today? We're up against Harry Maguire, who's 6'3". We've seen him countless times scoring headers from set pieces. Could they cost us again today, do you think? Yeah, definitely. I think not only that, because of the quality of the deliveries that they have coming in, through Bruno Fernandez, who I think takes set pieces for them. I'm pretty sure he does anyway, corners and free kicks. And we saw that when Hakim Ziyech was on the pitch for Chelsea, whipping in crosses towards Giroud and Zuma, and it's those type of tricky balls in that we really, really struggle to deal with, like we saw through Cresswell at West Ham. I didn't think the corner that Newcastle took was particularly dangerous, but Bruno Fernandes as someone as a set piece taker is someone who can really cause problems. And Maguire's tall, Lindelof is tall. I mean, Rashford's quite tall as well for a striker. If they were to bring Pogba on off the bench, he is massive. McTominay's really tall as well. So when you read through their squad, they do have a very stacked team in terms of height. So again, it's going to be tricky. And if we can stop conceding these sloppy set pieces, like Costa's one against West Ham, and the corner came from Calvin Phillips delivering a short corner that was awful in midweek. If we can stop these unnecessary corners and free kicks and that make them come from good saves or good challenges, then you don't feel as unhappy. But when they're so unnecessary, that's when it becomes frustrating.
Yeah, absolutely. Just need to cut out the silly mistakes, really. We know that we pour from set pieces, so just don't concede a free kick, when a player's going absolutely nowhere in an area of a pitch. Yeah. Let's move on to the Manchester United lineup then. David De Gea returns in goal, replacing Dean Henderson, who had a shocker against Sheffield United in midweek. Lindelof, Maguire, the captain, Martial, Rashford, who's got 5 goals this season. You got Fred as well, Bruno Fernandes, who has 7 goals this season. Luke Shaw in the lineup, replacing Alex Telles, Wan-Bissaka at right back, McTominay as well, and Dan James as well, who we know very well. They have a lot of dangerous players, don't they, Johnny? The likes of Rashford, Martial, and Dan James. They have a lot of players who can cause us a lot of problems.
Yeah, they're world-class players. They're a big team. They're a good team, Man United, in terms of the players they've got on the pitch. Even their ones on the bench who Man United fans probably don't consider to be that good. The likes of Juan Mata, even coming off the bench, and Paul Pogba, Cavani and Greenwood. They're stacks full of good players. Van der Beek. Any of the 3 substitutes that they bring on are going to be quality, and the players that they're coming off for are going to be quality as well. Like Fernandes, I think is unbelievable. I know a lot of people don't like him. I think he's a bit penalty merchant. I think he can unlock a defence like that. And I guess I don't think Martial is as good as people make him out to be. He's only scored, I think, once. I think his first goal came in against Sheffield United. I mean, that's a Martial hat-trick that's going to come in today now. I've said that. I rate Rashford, and I think McTominay and Fred as a central defensive duo is solid enough as well. But their weak link is definitely at the back. The 2 centre-backs. I rate Maguire when he was at Leicester. I think he's taken a downturn in form at Man United, and those are the players that we really need to get at. And I mean, David De Gea isn't in the best form of his life. A couple of seasons ago, if we were playing him, we'd be nervous because he's going to keep everything out, but he's not the player that he was a couple of seasons ago. So definitely that back line is their weak link, but going forward, they're full of quality, yeah.
Yeah, they really are. It's certainly going to be a tough afternoon for our defenders, really defending, against the likes of Rashford and Dan James as well, who's got bags of pace, and him against Stuart Dallas. I think that's going to be a tough job for Stuart Dallas. Certainly going to be a tough afternoon, and we're going to have to be on the top of our game to keep them out. And Elan Meslier hopefully can provide some of those world-class saves that he's been supplying in recent weeks. But definitely they're weak at the back, aren't they, in Manchester United? With Lindelof, Maguire, Luke Shaw as well, and them coming up against, we're going up against it. Looking at the likes of Rashford, Bruno Fernandes, we're slightly nervous against them, but they'll be nervous as well because their defense has been shocking all season. They've conceded bags of goals this season. It's been quite poor for many years, and I think Manchester United fans will be going into the game thinking, all right, how are we going to do against the likes of Rafinha, Bamford, Rodrigo and Harrison? And we could have a field day here.
Exactly. Like, they're facing a team who's just scored 5 against a pretty resolutely defensive Newcastle. Bamford's he's looking for his 10th goal at the moment this season. He's on fire. He's got more goals than Rashford and Martial combined so far this season. And Rafinha is such a tricky player, as we've said. Harrison's coming into it with good form. Click, as we know, can unlock a pass. I don't think he's been too good in the last couple of games, but on his day, he's a fantastic player, and consistently, he's amazing. Rodrigo as well, and the long balls through Calvin Phillips is a different entity to unlock their defence. I'd be worried if I'm a Man United defender. It's not going to be a game where they're just going to have to deal with it with 2 or 3 chances coming their way, and if they keep them out, then it's going to be a clean sheet. We're going to potentially dominate them on the ball. Bielsa likes to keep possession, and they're going to have to be patient, those defenders. And they do have a couple of rash characters at the back. So like Fred against PSG, Maguire can lose his head easily. So they're going to have to be patient, and it's definitely going to be a difficult afternoon for the Man United defence.
Yeah, 100%. It's going to be such a fascinating game, and I think there could be plenty of goals. Our defence has its problems, Manchester United's defence has its problems, but both teams going forward, they can really score a lot of goals, and I'm expecting a really good game. But Manchester United, they're going into this game with a lot of confidence. Of course, beat Sheffield United 3-2 away at Bramall Lane on Thursday night, increasing their unbeaten run in the league to 6. They've only lost 1 in the last 9 league games. However, they have only won 1 game at home all season, which was a 1-0 win over West Brom. So, yeah, their home form is a bit shaky. So hopefully we can capitalise on that. But no, they'll be coming into this game with full of confidence. Manchester United, they are 7th on 23 points in the league, 1 point off the top 4. So, Manchester United, they have a lot to play for, but as do we as well. I know that we are mid-table, but we want to establish ourselves in mid-table, really.
Definitely.
Get further away from that relegation zone. So there's plenty to play for in this game, isn't there?
Yeah, loads at stake. I mean, the rivalry between the two clubs is the first thing. It's the bragging rights. It's taking them home. We got this. If we win today, we got the bragging rights all the way into April now. Do you know what I mean? It's such a big, that alone. If it was a mid-table clash, that alone is a big thing in this game. Then, like you say, Man United looking for Champions League. They're out of the Champions League now. They're in the Europa League stages. Whether they're going to win that, who knows? But they need to get top 4 against Tottenham, who are doing well. I think they're actually losing to Leicester at the moment, but Leicester are doing well. Southampton, Liverpool, City. It's going to be tough for them. And of course, for us, I'm not looking down at the table. I don't think we're going to get relegated. There are worse teams than us this season. But like you say, to establish ourselves as a respected club, to do what Sheffield United did potentially last season, and to just finish in that top half would be fantastic and a great achievement. So there's a lot on the line in this game, and definitely, like you were saying.
Yeah, and headed into these kind of games, a lot of people say that form goes out the window, but of course, there's rivalry there, there's bragging rights there. Which side do you think will have the edge? Which players do you think, which set of players do you think understand the rivalry a lot more? Because for me, it's the Leeds United players, mainly English. They all know, they've been at the club for many years. They know what it means to be Leeds, especially Calvin Phillips being in the media this week saying it's the biggest game of the season, saying that he's going around telling all the players, it's a really, really big game. So, they know what it means. Whereas Manchester United, a lot of foreign players in there probably don't understand English football as well as, the Leeds players. So who do you think is going to have the edge in that respect?
I think definitely on Leeds' side, you got Cooper, Leeds fan, Phillips, Leeds fan, and obviously on the bench, like Shackleton as well, who know exactly what this means to the club. And like that Phillips interview is fantastic. It really got me G'd up for this game because, like you say, just telling the whole squad about it. I guess obviously on the opposite side, Rashford's probably doing the same for Man United. I can't remember if McTominay's a youth prospect from them. I don't know if he's a Man United boy himself. I'm not too sure. But I can't remember if Dan James is also a Man United fan as well. I'm not too sure. Obviously, they're going to have players that know what it means. In terms of the big stage, they've obviously got players who have played on bigger stages, World Cups, European tournaments, Champions League nights. But in terms of the actual sort of culture of the rivalry, the players who understand this the most, it probably is the Leeds fans. They understand the domestic game better, the rivalry, what it dates back to and stuff like that. So I do know exactly what you mean, but I do think they'll be up for it as well.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be a very good game to watch. I think both sides are going to be up for this. And what kind of game are you expecting, Johnny? I said earlier, I think there's could be bags of goals in this game. Are you expecting plenty of goals? What kind of game are you expecting here?
To be fair, all the Premier League games recently that we thought there's going to be goals, like the Everton, the Arsenal one, it's just finished 0-0, 1-0. So I am expecting goals on paper because it's two weak defences and two good attacks. So that's, from the off, you're expecting goals. But I think what I'm expecting if the Leeds side that comes out, I think we're just going to take them from the off. I think we're going to really press them. Like we did against Chelsea, a bit like we did against Liverpool when we got into that game, and just go for them. Look, realistically, we've got nothing to lose. We're not the favourites here. It's all the pressures on Manchester United in terms of what they need to achieve this season. And I think we're going to go at them and give it a real good go. I think if we don't take our chances early on, that's when the experience of the Fernandez, the Rashford, the Pogba, if he comes on, those sort of players are going to potentially guide Man United to a draw or a victory later on in the game. But if we can really take our chances opening first half, and the dream is to go 2-0 up, going into half time, take those chances, we'll be in dreamland. So we're all smiling at the thought of it. If it happens, it'll be absolutely fantastic. But I think we'll come up fighting. But if we don't take those chances, then we could be in for a tricky second half.
Yeah, we certainly do need to bury chances. We'll certainly create chances, and we just need to be clinical and then just take pressure off the defence. But then likewise, the defence could be solid and take pressure off the attackers. But we need to be on top of our game. It's going to be tough, but I think there's something in there for Leeds United, and hopefully we can get something. Of course, the two clubs did meet quite recently, July 2019, in a pre-season friendly at the Optus Stadium in Perth. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was in charge of Man United then, and they won 4-0. So that's not happy reading, really, because it is two similar teams. We've added quite a bit of quality, but two similar teams there. But it is a pre-season friendly down in Australia, so hopefully that doesn't mean too much. The last time the two sides met in a competitive game was in 2011. Manchester United won 3-0 at Ellen Road in the League Cup. But of course, our last visit to Old Trafford, we all remember that. January 3rd, 2010, Jermaine Beckford scored the only goal of the game in the third round of the FA Cup. 9,000 Leeds fans there. It's just a shame that there's no fans here to watch it, because it would have been a big following and a fantastic atmosphere. But we all remember the last time we visited Old Trafford, but that was in the FA Cup. The last time Leeds United won a league game at Old Trafford was all the way back on the 28th of February 1981, a 1-0 win there with Welsh midfielder Brian Flynn scoring the only goal in that one. So we haven't won in the league away at Old Trafford for a long time, but hopefully we can turn that form around. Bielsa, of course, has already managed a team who have played at Old Trafford, Atletico Bilbao, back in 2012 in the Europa League. He won 3-2 there, saying in the press conference that he cherishes the memories there. Bielsa already knows the winning feeling at Old Trafford. Do you think he can replicate it here?
I think he can. I think he knows what Man United's all about. We saw in his press conference coming out, he seemed really excited. There's been that clip going around on Twitter of him leaning forward in his press conference. He's got a smile on his face. He knows what this game means, and obviously there's no crowd there, which does have a bit of an effect. And obviously it's a different manager in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But I think tactically he's levels ahead of Solskjaer. He's going to be. We've watched all the Man United games from the past 20 years leading up to this one. He's gonna know exactly what Man United are about. And I think the difference with this and the Chelsea away game is Chelsea have those. I'm not saying Man United don't have the quality, because we've discussed this, but I think defensively and offensively, Chelsea were just so well-rounded that we just couldn't break them down. I think this Man United team, we can really get at them, and Bielsa would have told the players, the weaklings, that we can expose them with. And I think he's the third best manager in the world, statistically, according to the best awards. So if anyone's going to outclass his Man United side, it's got to be Bielsa. Yeah,
100%. Give us a score prediction, Johnny.
If I had to take in sort of how much I want to win this game and also a bit of logic, I'll go 2-1 Leeds. 2-1 Leeds. Bamford double.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing more I want than for us to beat these lot, but I would take a point now. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I said in the podcast this week, I think it's going to be a high-scoring draw of 4-4. I'm going to stick with that, 4-4. I think there's going to be plenty of goals. And, I definitely would be happy with a point, but let's just hope that we can beat them. Nothing will top this Christmas than us beating Manchester United away at Old Trafford just beforehand. But thank you very much, Johnny, for joining us. We'll wrap it up there.
No worries, mate.
Follow Johnny on Twitter at Johnny Chick. Is it 2 underscores at the end there?
I think it is, yeah. When I did the Twitter account, I'm thinking, I don't even know how many it is. I have to kind of look at it. I think it's 2, yeah.
So make sure you go follow Johnny and catch up with all his content on the All Things Leeds website blog as well. Been doing some fantastic content there. And thank you, Johnny, for joining us. If I don't see you or don't talk to you until Christmas, then have a good Christmas. Merry Christmas, mate.
You too, mate. Have a good Christmas with what we can do now with all the different tier stuff, whatever. But no, have a good Christmas, mate.
Yep, man. Everyone as well who has watched, have a good Christmas. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, take care, stay healthy, stay safe. And we'll see you later.